a silly thing to say, but I was happy with the goal we conceded, because my feeling was that in the last 10 minutes of the first half, if we finish the game 1-0, maybe we start the second half in the same way, where we lost a little bit the hunger, the desire to attack. We were too passive. We were in control, and then in the second half was yes or yes. We had to go with everything. We did it 2-1 and go for 3-1 immediately after. So I'm happy to have a naughty smile of we score 100 goals in the season, and we are a defensive team.
Roy, a disappointing outcome, but there were quite a few positives you could take from that game, I thought.
I don't know. I'm not good at taking positives from games when I've seen the team lose by 4-1, but I must say that I thought we were quite heavily punished by the quality of the goals and the quality of some of the play in the final third. I think that on another day we might not have been punished quite as harshly, and also with some of the play in the second half we might have even added to the goal that we scored, which was a good goal.
I wouldn't have come if I didn't think I could contribute to the team. So yeah, it's taken a bit of time. Ideally, it doesn't take us long, but that's the reality of football, my body, and what happens in terms of form and performances. So just one of those things. Took a bit more time, but I feel good now, and hopefully I can keep this form going.
So last week when we had Tottenham on, you both analysed Bale and Kane and the Tottenham front four. What fresh perspective have you gone for this week?
Well, I did have 3 or 4 minutes of different analysis, but apparently we haven't got time to show it, so we're going to show the frightening forward line again. Oh, yeah. and why not? Because some of the goals, some of the play that they had was outstanding. Their understanding of each other's runs, where each other are, balls into the box. I mean, they were just a threat all afternoon. Superb pressing, great work. As I said, the understanding, that is magnificent from Harry Kane. He puts it on a plate for Gareth Bale, and you can tell he's enjoying his football out wide, whipping the ball into Reguilon. That should be in the back of the net, but this was the best goal for me. I mean, he starts it, Bale pushes it out to the left-hand side, but just watch his movement in there. He goes to the near post, he doesn't get it. Look how quick he is to react from the brilliant header back from Harry Kane.
Yeah, great players love playing with other great players, don't they? I think it's really nice to see how much they're enjoying themselves. It's been a while. We have had to wait for... What a goal that is from Harry Kane. He's a special talent, isn't he? And I think it's actually really crucial for them to have a good end to the season, maybe give City a run in the final. They're more than capable.
In the League Cup.
In the League Cup. Yeah. And obviously try and now push for the Champions League spot, and there's Kane doing what he does best.
And there's the Europa League still.
Europa League. But a few weeks ago, I have to say, I was watching them thinking they were nowhere near it. And they've gone on this little run now. Bale's looking like the old Bale. And there's no reason why they can't go on a run and push for that top four and then have a better possibility of keeping Harry Kane at the club.
That final goal was crucial because Kane and Son now the most successful Premier League partnership in what you can laugh. You're fine. You've got plenty of other records. Sutton's devastated.
Oh, poor Sonny.
It's the only list he's on. The serious point, just on Kane and Bale, is next week, do you think they would do an analysis run on Kane and Bale, whoever's sitting here? Because it's the North London derby. So what I'm basically saying is, does Mourinho stick with them now?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I think he has to, yeah, absolutely. They're finding their understanding of each other. Bale said it himself, it's taken a while, but they're clicking now. Why would you change that?
And Lucas Moura and Son are contributing to that as well. I think the North London derby will give them a few more questions defensively. They might be able to. They might have to work harder in that. But overall, yeah, it's a fantastic way for them to play and very different.
Several dozen Crystal Palace players out of contract in the summer. Roy Hodgson out of contract in the summer. Do you kind of think that Palace are just trying to get to the end of the season and then they'll reset, for want of a better word?
It looks that way. I'd be surprised if Roy was in charge at the start of next season. If they were going to keep him, why wouldn't it be done? I understand maybe trying to keep it under wraps till they're secure in the Premier League, but there's a big somebody with the amount of players that got out of contract. It's going to be fascinating.
That's interesting. Did he ever say to you in the dressing room, we're happy to concede? Jose Mourinho doesn't only admit to being happy to concede. You can see why to give this team a bit of a kickstart after those missed opportunities?
He was never normally that calm, to be honest, when he came in if we was losing. He just says it as it is, to be honest with you. If he thinks you're playing badly, he'll call you out, he'll tell you to lift your game. If you don't, then obviously the consequences are you're normally coming off the pitch. But I think for him to say that, he's basically told them that before the game, if they basically drop their press and give them opportunities to cross the ball, they will concede a goal. So the fact that it's happened, I think it was more of him saying, see, I told you so. So keep the press up and we can get a result in the game if you do that.
Because as I pointed out at half-time, it's been a worry for him. 7 games out of 13, they've dropped points at home this season. So he's speaking there from a reoccurring theme this season.
He is, yeah, and that's what he's referring to. He's obviously using it as a little warning to his team that, look, you know, if you're not in your game, teams will score goals against you. And, you know, they dropped off for a few minutes and Crystal Palace punished them, but you have to say second half, I thought they were excellent there, and the quality of goals they scored, I think it would be really pleased with the second half display anyway.
So, Michael, we talked about the flair and the forwards, the 4 forwards on the pitch. What about their mentality? Where are Spurs at with these drop points they've had this season, that run of 5 defeats in 6? Have they got it, the character, to push on when it matters in terms of this Champions League race?
Yeah, I think they have. They've got a lot of leaders in their team. I mean, at one point this season, we were talking about could they go on and win it? They were right at the top, and people were questioning whether they could go on. They dropped off poorly, really, and they went through a real average patch. But they look as if they're back to something like the best now. And we've spoken about it. You know, when you've got individual talent like they have, there's not many squads in the Premier League with the talent that they've got. It really is sensational. You look at their bench, it's very strong. And now if they put together a good run, that top 4 is a distinct possibility. And you never know. It could be a fantastic season for them, but it could, you know, they could go the other way. They've got Manchester City in the League Cup final. If they don't go and win the Europa League and they finish out the top 4, it's a bit of a disaster for them, considering, you know, the players they've got, the stadium they've got. You know, so it's going to go... It's a tipping point, really. And, you know, Jose obviously would be delighted they've got a bit of confidence going into these big games now.
Quick word on Crystal Palace. I mean, they will be fine, won't they? You don't see them looking over their shoulder at all with these teams at the bottom picking up points?
I honestly did before. The last few games that I watched them play, I thought they didn't do anything. There was one against Brighton, I think, which was pretty much a smash and grab. Against Man United, for me, they didn't really show anything. But I think with the fact of Chalup's back and Zaha, it gives them that little bit of something more that if they do sit back, they can still have that entertaining stages in games where they try and create things. So at the minute, I don't think they have got much to worry about right now.
Yeah, they've got Chelsea, Leicester, Manchester City and Everton in the next 6. But they'll be OK under Roy Hodgson, Paul?
Yeah, I think so. I think they'll get over... Well, get over the line. I think they'll do it quite comfortably, really. What they need... 2 wins, possibly. Well, we don't know, do we? But you're looking at 34 points now. You're looking at 37, 38. Could possibly be enough. We don't know that for definite. But yeah, I think they're fine. I think they're far away enough now to feel quite confident. They've got an experienced manager, a good team, some good players. So I think they'll be fine.